Why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people and how to stop. Ever feel like you're always the one who loves harder? The one waiting by the phone? The one planning the future? The one giving more, feeling more? While they stay distant, distracted, half in, half out, you tell yourself maybe they're just busy, maybe you're asking for too much, maybe if you're patient enough, love enough, prove yourself enough, they'll finally show up the way you need them to. But deep down, you're chasing connection with someone who isn't really available. And it hurts. It makes you question your worth. It makes you wonder why love always feels just out of reach. But here's the truth. It's not bad luck. It's not because you're unlovable. And it's not because you're too much. There's a pattern at work, one you probably didn't even realize you were repeating. A pattern rooted not in what's wrong with you, but in what you learned to believe about love a long time ago. And the good news? Once you see it, you can break it. In this video, we're going to dive into why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people, the hidden psychology behind it, and, most importantly, how to stop repeating the same heartbreak over and over again, because you deserve a love that chooses you back. Let's talk about how to get there. Let's get clear. Emotional unavailability doesn't mean someone's cold or heartless. It means they can't, or won't, connect with emotional depth. You'll see it show up as avoiding serious conversations, pulling away when things get real, keeping you at arm's length even when they say they care, being inconsistent, warm one day, distant the next. They might want connection. They might even think they're ready for love. But when it comes time to actually show up, to be vulnerable, to build something real, they shut down, sabotage, or disappear. And if you're someone who loves deeply, you'll feel that distance like a wound you can't explain. It's easy to blame bad luck, to think you just pick wrong or fall for the wrong people. But the truth runs deeper. You're not randomly attracting emotionally unavailable people. You're subconsciously drawn to them, and it often starts long before your first relationship. Familiarity feels like safety. If you grew up around inconsistency, love that came with conditions, moods that shifted without warning, your nervous system learned to associate uncertainty with love. So when someone feels emotionally distant, unpredictable, or hard to reach, it doesn't always feel wrong at first. It feels familiar, and familiarity feels safe, even when it's hurting you. Attraction to potential over reality. Emotionally unavailable people often show glimpses of connection, moments where you feel the bond you're craving. And those moments can be powerful. You start building a relationship in your mind, a future based on who they could be if they just healed, just opened up, just loved you enough. You fall in love with the potential, not the reality, and you stay, hoping the glimpses will turn into consistency. Subconscious need to prove your worth. For many people, chasing love from the unavailable becomes a way to prove something. If I can get them to choose me, it means I'm enough. If I can fix this, it means I'm worthy. It's not a conscious thought, it's an old emotional wound replaying itself, looking for closure. But chasing love isn't how you earn worth, it's how you lose yourself trying. And here's the hardest part. The people you're drawn to aren't mirrors of your desires, they're mirrors of your wounds. Until you heal the part of you that thinks you have to earn love, you'll keep attracting people who make you fight for it. But once you see the pattern, you can finally choose differently. Wondering if you've been stuck chasing emotional unavailability? Here's how it usually shows up. First, you're always the emotional initiator. You're the one texting first, asking the hard questions, trying to deepen the connection, while they stay passive. Second, your needs feel too much. Every time you express a real emotional need, they pull away, making you feel guilty for wanting basic connection. Third, you confuse distance with mystery. You mistake emotional coldness for being intriguing or having walls to break down, and that chase feels addictive. Fourth, you stay for their potential, not their reality. You're more in love with who they could become than who they consistently are right now. If these feel painfully familiar, you're not broken, you're just stuck in a pattern. But now you're seeing it. And that's how everything starts to change. The silent damage it causes. Staying in cycles with emotionally unavailable people doesn't just hurt in obvious ways. It chips away at you slowly, silently, until you wake up wondering where your light went. Here's how it breaks you without you even realizing it. 1. Emotional burnout. Constantly trying to get through to someone who won't fully open up drains you. You become exhausted from giving more love, more patience, more understanding, only to get crumbs in return. You end up emotionally starving in a relationship where you're the only one feeding it. 2. Self-doubt creeps in. When someone keeps you at arm's length, it's easy to internalize it. You start thinking, maybe I'm too much, maybe I'm the problem, maybe if I were different, they'd stay. and that constant questioning erodes your confidence, piece by piece. 3. Lowering your standards without realizing it. At first you had non-negotiables. You knew what you deserved, but after enough emotional inconsistency, you start adjusting yourself. You shrink your needs, you accept bare minimum attention as good enough. You settle for hope instead of real connection, and you tell yourself, at least they're here, even when they're not really showing up for you. 4. Making love feel harder than it should be. When every relationship feels like a fight for basic affection, you start believing love is supposed to hurt, that it's supposed to feel uncertain, that it's normal to constantly question where you stand. But real love isn't confusing. It's not a riddle you have to solve. Real love is steady, and chasing the emotionally unavailable makes you forget that. The worst part? This kind of damage doesn't always leave obvious scars. It hides in your self-talk, in your future choices, in the way you stop asking for what you truly need. But the moment you recognize it, you can choose a different ending. How to break the cycle. Seeing the pattern is the first step. Breaking it? That's where your real healing begins. Here's how to start. 1. Recognize the attraction early. Trust your gut. If someone feels emotionally distant from the start, don't romanticize it. Don't chase potential. Honor what you're actually feeling. 2. Rebuild self-worth outside of relationships. You're not more lovable when someone finally chooses you. You're already worthy, even before love shows up. Work on feeling full without needing someone else's validation. 3. Set stronger emotional boundaries. Love doesn't require sacrificing your standards. If someone can't meet your emotional needs, it's not your job to shrink. It's your cue to step back. 4. Choose emotional safety over intensity. Stop chasing the high of emotional uncertainty. Real love isn't built on adrenaline. It's built on trust, consistency, and being seen fully. You don't have to keep proving your worth to people who can't receive it. You're allowed to choose a different story, one that starts with you. You deserve to be chosen, not chased. You were never meant to beg for love. You were never meant to audition for someone's attention. You were never meant to carry the emotional weight for two people, hoping someday they'd wake up and finally choose you. Because real love chooses you back, freely, fully, without fear. If someone is emotionally unavailable, you can't love them hard enough to make them stay. You can't fix their fear of connection. You can't turn their almost love into always love. You can only choose yourself sooner. You can only walk away when someone shows you they're not ready. You can only hold out for the kind of love that doesn't make you question if you're enough. Choosing someone who can love you openly, consistently, vulnerably, isn't settling. It's protecting the sacredness of your heart. You deserve a love that stays without chasing. A love that meets you in the middle, not one you have to drag across the finish line. And the moment you believe that, really truly believe it, you'll stop being magnetized to people who can't meet you where you are. You'll stop chasing the unavailable. And you'll start attracting love that finally feels like coming home. If you're still here with me right now, it's because part of you already knows you deserve better. Not better because you need fixing, not better because you weren't enough, but better because you are finally ready to stop begging for the kind of love that should have been offered freely from the start. You don't need to work harder to be loved. You don't need to chase potential. You don't need to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's limited capacity. You deserve love that's safe, consistent, and open. You deserve a love that chooses you, without conditions, without games, without emotional walls. And until that love shows up, you owe it to yourself to stop chasing people who make you question your own worth. Because the love you're waiting for, it's not hiding in someone who can't see you. It's growing inside the part of you that finally refuses to settle. Drop a comment below, even just "I choose healthy love." I'd love to hear your story. And trust me, your words might be the exact encouragement someone else needs to see today. Subscribe or like if you're ready for more real, no-fluff conversations about relationships, healing, and choosing yourself without apology. Because this journey you're on, it's not about fixing someone else, it's about finally coming home to you. And you're already closer than you think.